Well, hello there. Welcome back to another episode here on Hall Family Farms. So glad you could join us. Today we've got some seeds that we've been pre-germinating using the wet paper towel in a plastic bag method. So I'm going to bring the camera in a little bit closer so you can see how we go through that process of transferring these pre-seeded or germinated seeds into our seedling tray. So we'll be right back. All right, we are all set up here with our 128 cell tray. It's your standard 10 by 20 length. So we have our tray, and our seedling tray fits within the watering tray there. We've got our homemade labels ready to go from Dean's French onion dip containers. You know we love our Dean's French onion dip, so alright, so the first thing we need to do here is get some soil into the tray. Okay, and the soil we're going to be using today is our Miracle Grow potting mix soil that we picked up at the big box store Lowe's. You can get this just about anywhere. That's just where I happened to be when I picked this up. So we're going to use this in the tray, and if you've watched some earlier videos, I tried to use some sphagnum peat moss based seedling starting mix that I purchased from Dollar General and just did not have any luck. It just didn't seem to retain any moisture and just didn't have any luck with it. So we're going to try this Miracle Grow to see how we do with the seeds we've pre-germinated. So let's get this soil into the trays and get started. It's a little windy here, so we're going to try to do this as neatly as we can. Try to break up these clumps. Give it a good shake here, let these soil settle down. Alright, that seems to be pretty good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our seeds in. We'll press this down just a little bit where they're a little more full. We'll put a little soil over the pre-germinated seeds once we get them into the cells. So there you go. That looks good. Alright, so let's see what we've got pre-germinated here. Let's start with our favorite flower, the hibiscus. And this one, as you can see, is the pink swirl hibiscus. We planted it. We placed it in the wet paper towel back on June 4th. Today is June 8th. Let's see how many seeds have germinated. Oh wow, we've got several. Look at that. I don't know if you can see those, but that's what we've got. So, in fact, this one completely out of its outer shell. Let me pause the camera and get my little pencil #2 dibbler. I'll be right back. Alright, I took a minute just to kind of pre-moisten our potting mix here. So I have my standard #2 pencil dibbler. And we're going to start here on this end. Let me move this down here so you can see this. We're going to get our first seedling right here. I'm going to help it out by taking that little coat off there. Grab it gently and see if we can't guide it into our little hole that we've got started there. And press the soil around it there. Alright, let's start with our next one here. And there's what it looks like. I don't know if you can see that there. Alright, there's two. Let's see how many more we've got here. Here's another one. Not quite as far along. Alright, is that all that we have? Nope. Here's that first one we actually saw. Let me see if we can get that in here. So it looks like we've got just enough right now to fill up one row. Just press the soil around him. Looks like we got one more right here, not just kind of just started. We'll stick that in here. Alright, so we're going to put our label here so we'll know what we have in this first row. Our pink swirl hibiscus. Alright, since we love our hibiscus so much, let's see what we've got next. Alright, let's go next with our honeymoon deep red hibiscus. Again, we put the seeds inside the wet paper towel back on June 4th. Let's see what we've got. Oh wow. We've got germination. Alright, so we're going to start right here. Look at that. That is too cool. Okay, and that's all of the ones that have germinated so far. All right, I believe we have one more hibiscus to plant, and that is the determinate hardy hibiscus. Again, we put this in the wet paper towel back on June 4th. So let's see what we've got here. Not as many, just one it looks like. So let's get this guy over here. Alright, and we'll put these seeds back to continue to germinate some more. Alright, so the next thing we're going to plant is the sun gold tomato. Now this is a cherry tomato, and according to my gardening friend down in Alabama, Rob, who you've heard me talk about before on our program, he says this is just out of this world good. It's a yellow-orange, I think, colored tomato, and just really, really high quality, high sugar content. He says he has never really cared for eating tomatoes, but this one he really loves. So he recommended that I purchase some seeds, so let's see if they've germinated. Again, we pre-seeded these in the wet paper towel on the 4th of June, and today is the 8th. Oh yeah, we've got some seeds here. Now these are a lot smaller seeds than the hibiscus, so it's going to take some real finesse here. I think we're going to maybe skip 2 rows to give them a little bit more room here. Let's see. Just see if I can show you there how small they are. All right. Now, one of the drawbacks of doing these on the paper towel is if you wait too long, their roots will embed into the paper, and so sometimes you run the risk of damaging your little seedlings. So you got to be really careful. Now, if they do happen to break off on the very end, don't get too worked up or too alarmed. They will oftentimes recover if they get a little bit of root damage. Looks like we had near perfect germination here. I didn't put too many seeds in the wet paper towel because we want to maybe try to grow these in succession throughout the summer and early fall. So this will be our first group of seeds. We'll see how we do with these. It can be a little bit of a delicate process sometimes. That little guy, he just didn't want to come off the dibbler. Yeah, we broke the tip of that one off, but it may grow. Alright, I think there's one more here. It's not as far along, just coming out of the seed, but we'll just kind of lay that there on top. Alright, I think that's all of those. put the pencil there so we will know, because they're very small. Alright, the next seed we're going to look at and see if we can plant is the Salvia Blue Queen. Now this is a perennial seed, perennial plant. It's a flower. So we're going to see if we can get these to grow in our garden. And this is a plant that will come back every year. That's why it's called a perennial. And we do have some germination here, so that's good. So we'll set this right here for the moment. We're going to skip a couple rows here. See if we can't tease these little fellows off here. Now you might be wondering, what is the advantage to pre-germinating these seeds inside a wet paper towel, inside a plastic bag? Well, it helps with knowing whether or not they germinated or not. If you put them in the ground, you kind of have to wait and see, and then how long do you wait before you decide to give up or decide that they just didn't germinate, that they were not fresh seeds, or that they were seeds that had been damaged in some way. So it gives you a little bit of a head start by doing that as well, by getting them pre-germinated. So looks like we may have enough of these to fill up a row. Come close. Alright, I think that's all of those. So let's get a label on these. Alright, we have two more to go. We have Rebecca, Rebecca Gold Sternum Strain. Basically, this is a black-eyed Susan. It's a perennial flower as well. So we're going to plant that next, and then we have a burpless cucumber. It's from Ferry Morris. That's the company, and it's a cucumber spring burpless. So that's what we have here. So let's take a look at the black-eyed Susan first. Put our bag under our tray so it doesn't blow away. Oh yeah, we've got germination. Okay. I think we'll just skip one row on this one. Let's see. And the other reason for doing it this way too is you're less likely to waste seed typically if you just seed them in the trays, you normally wind up planting more than one seed in each cell, so you're wasting seeds. So this way you're ensuring a higher probability of having something to really take hold here and turn into a plant. So I think I pulled that one off too hard. Let's see, got some more here. And I did put 2 extra there. Looks like that's about it. We got a couple more here. I may double these up since they're so small, just to ensure. All right, so we got those. All right, and last but certainly not least are our Fairy Morris cucumber spring burpless seeds. So let's see what kind of germination these seeds have. Oh yeah, looks like 100% germination. We had 6 seeds here, and it looks like we've got 6 that have germinated. All right, so we are gonna put these, we'll skip, I think we're gonna put these on the very end here because they get big quickly. And we're gonna have to tease these off of the paper towel. And sometimes if you can't get them off nice and clean, like that one broke, but I think it will still make it, so we'll stick that in there. Get it to go. There you go. All right. Sometimes what I've done too is I'll actually just kind of tear the paper towel. Doesn't hurt to plant the paper towel in there, a piece of it. Actually, looks like we have more than 6. I was wrong. I miscounted, I think. Yep. Looks like there's maybe 7 or 8. Let's move on to the next one. This one's going to be easy. It didn't attach itself. Come back to this one, stick that in there. And that's what they kind of look like there. I don't know if that's in focus or not, but just try to get that root to go down into our hole that we made with our fancy number 2 dibbler. Let's see if I can. There we go. Sometimes it takes just a little finesse to get them to go. And this one's really rooted on the paper towel. Let's see if I can show you what that looks like there. Sometimes if you just roll your finger, your thumb there, that helps. That's what we got right there. I think I'm going to skip because this one's more advanced. Okay, that's all the seeds we have pre-germinated for now. We'll make a label for the cucumbers here. Just kind of cut off the point here. Get our little permanent Sharpie. Okay. And I think I'm going to stick it on this side since we don't have a seedling in there, because like I said, these things can get really big quickly. So that's what our tray looks like. Now I'll probably add just a little bit of soil on top on some of these, and probably keep it kind of out of direct sun for just a few days. Let them take root. All right, well that's all we have today. So if you like this information, you find it helpful, please consider giving us a thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber to our channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. It does not cost you a thing to be a subscriber and a follower here on Hall Family Farms. And if you click that notification bell there to the right, you will always be notified. YouTube will notify you of every post that we make, and we are constantly bringing new content and trying new things here on the farm. So until the next episode, please be safe out there, take care, and we'll see you in the next episode. So long.